Good evening. Welcome to day 6 of 12 days of communication and confidence. This series is for parents who want to improve communication with confident teen girls. And my name is Tahira Bell. We are about halfway through this series. I hope that it's been benefiting you and teaching you some strategies and some insight on why it's important to have good communication with your teenage daughter, what you can do to improve it if it's not the best as it is right now, and then how to really communicate with her and create an environment within your home where you're continuously, building up her confidence. I'm excited about tonight's topic. I think I say that every night, but I really love tonight's topic because I feel like it's the foundation for almost everything as it pertains to teenage girls. Tonight, we're going to talk about how you can help your daughter learn how to value herself. I'm going to walk you through the things you can say to her, the things you can do at home, what you can do to really communicate with her in a way to build her up and teach her how to build herself up by really valuing herself. And to me, it all begins with looking inside and helping her discover and then develop who she is from the inside out, really getting to know what she loves about herself and what makes her unique, starting with what's on the inside, which is exactly what my mission is. I am on a mission to help girls and inspire them to stand up and shine. That's what I do as a life coach, as a youth workshop facilitator, and as a forever educator, which is what I consider myself because I've been working with teens since I was a teen. I love to learn about them and learn new ways constantly to help them. And so this series is all about teaching you what I've learned over these last several years in my work with teenage girls. Thank you. Hey, Trika, thank you for joining. We are just getting started. Tonight, we're talking about how to help your teen girl learn how to value herself, okay? So the first thing we're gonna look at is what can you do to help her develop the person she is on the inside, and what you can literally say to her as you compliment those inner qualities. What happens is we really show a lot of attention to the negative things, right? It's easy to point out where our teenagers are making mistakes. It's easy to focus on where they have room for improvement, right? And we'll talk about that throughout the evening. But every opportunity that you can to actually compliment her inner qualities, things like, is she compassionate? Is she a hard worker? Is she generous? Is she really good at putting things together or figuring things out? Is she really analytical? What happens is it's really easy to compliment looks, right? It's really easy to compliment things that you see on the outside, but it's not so natural or easy to compliment the things that we really want her to feel good about on the inside. And so that's the first tip for how to really help her learn how to value herself, compliment those inner qualities. And so for those of you with younger girls especially, let me just make this point in case anyone is listening either live or on the replay. When you see little girls, it's so easy just to say, oh my gosh, you're so cute, right? I'm guilty of it. I do it too. I'm not saying not to do that, but I am saying to really, really make it a point to compliment some of the other things, because your appearance changes, it fades, it goes away. You don't ever want to be defined by that, right? You want her to really get to know who she is and be defined by the qualities that you can't see just by looking at someone on the outside, okay? Second thing, you can help her identify her strengths. Like I said a second ago, we really tend to focus on challenges, right? If you have a student and she's not doing well in a subject at school, what do? You get her a tutor. If she's constantly getting up late in the morning, she's not waking up when her alarm goes off, we're constantly, fussing about her being late, or why are you procrastinating? She's not managing her time well. Maybe you've hired an academic coach, or, we're always trying to fix the areas where Our children are not strong per se, right? But what if you took the time to really help her identify her strengths? This is one of the things I do with every single client, regardless of what they come to me for. We always do a strengths assessment so she knows exactly where she stands and really learns what she's good at. So the types of things that you can help her figure out about herself are things like, is she a compassionate person? Kind of like what I just talked about, some of the inner qualities, right? Some of the strengths that come up a lot are things like kindness. Are you naturally kind? All right, things that we don't necessarily emphasize, right? What about things that are in line with her passions? So part of identifying your strengths and really learning what you're good at comes from knowing what you're passionate about. So as her parent, what can you do to really learn about and especially support her passions? And when I talk about this, I always think about the movie Love and Basketball, where Sanaa Lathan, her character, I can't think of her name in the movie, but you know where she's in the kitchen with her mom and she's like, Mom, I must have played in 100 games. And she was so upset because her mom never thought that it was important to be at the games, because she said something like, you know, you have your dad for that. You know, I didn't have to do anything with basketball, right? But what if her mother would have gone to some of those games? What if she would have seen her daughter in another light? What do you think that could have done in terms of their relationship? It would have given them a whole different dimension, another ideas, a whole nother layer of connection, more that they could talk about and probably be that much closer, okay? So learn about her passions, support her passions. And for those of you who may be thinking, you know, my daughter is only passionate about boys and her phone, for you, then you can give her opportunities to discover her passions. Give her opportunities to explore new things. Just yesterday, I took my boys to see a play. My older son has a good friend and he's an actor. And so he was in Beauty and the Beast. And he's the perfect example of this, because when he was in, I think, kindergarten or maybe first grade, his mom was just like, you know, I have this active little boy. What can I do? She signed him up for an acting class, not even thinking anything of it. You know, she probably signed him up for a million different classes, just like all of us do when we have kids, right? When he was in third grade and they did the school play, he commanded the stage like nobody else in any performance I know that I've seen over the years. This kid has discovered something that he's passionate about. He's a gifted actor. So now he can work on that. Now, he may not become a Broadway star as a child or even as an adult. Maybe he will. Who knows? He will never, no one can ever take away the fact that this is his gift. This is something he's good at. And even if he doesn't use it professionally, he can use it to his advantage no matter what field he goes in. Because one thing I like to teach girls that you can do too is how to leverage your strengths. How do you really leverage what you're good at to get the things that you want to ultimately be successful, okay? If you have any questions, let me know. Even on the replay, please feel free to post them in the comments. I want to make sure that this is making sense for you, and that if there's anything that I can support you with, if you need more details, more ideas, more strategies, let me know. I can help you, okay? Here's the third thing. You want to teach your daughter how to really value her words. So remember a couple days ago, we talked about what you believe about your daughter. What does she believe about herself? And we talked about herself. And we talked about how your beliefs really affect your thoughts and how your thoughts affect your words, right? So you really want her to learn how to pay attention to the words that are coming out of her mouth. So what does this look like? Showing her how to reframe that negative self-talk. And we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, right? But you have to pay attention to it. And so this could look something like, if you have a daughter and she's saying, gosh, I'm just not good at math, right? I keep going back to this math example. You can teach her one word that she can add, and that word is yet, to almost anything she says that will just completely change the way that she feels when she says it. So instead of saying, gosh, I'm not good at math, you'll teach her how to catch herself. Say, no, don't say that. What you want to say is, I'm not good at math yet. And she will. She'll start doing it. And it's just that subconscious change in how she's approaching math. Instead of setting herself up knowing she's not good at it, she just realizes, I'm not good at it yet. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to be good at it. It doesn't mean that I can't be good at it. But what it does mean is that I have to work a little harder. And I'm going to get on a soapbox for a minute, if you just bear with me. I cannot understand why we are so quick to, just as a culture, to support hard work when we're on, like the sports field, or as it pertains to athletics. But then when it comes to academics, it's like we're afraid for our kids to have to work hard. There's nothing wrong with it. I want my kids to work hard. I want your kids to work hard. You don't want them to be afraid of hard work. So if not being good at math yet means that she has to put in some extra time, maybe do the assignment twice, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, right? Building that grit, I tell my girls this sometimes, grit is good, right? You want them to have that hard work ethic. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good thing. I would say practice it until she can teach it to you, okay? I have another example for you. I had a client one time, actually a lot of times, because biology is just one of those subjects. I used to teach it, so I get it. A lot of girls don't like it. A lot of girls struggle with it. I had a client one time who hated biology. It seemed like every session she would come with a biology story about why she hates it, her teacher this, it sucks, I'm terrible at it, right? So she was constantly saying, I suck at biology, I suck at biology. So what we did was, it started out as a joke, but it really worked for her. We decided that for her, she needed to embrace the suck. And that, I say in quotes, that was literally her affirmation. When she sat down and she knew it, her mind would just go there, God, I suck at biology. Then she would say to herself, embrace the suck, embrace the suck. I literally made her write it down because I'm a firm believer in, putting pen to paper. There's just magic about that. So she would write it down, and it just shifted her perspective. And sometimes that's all you need, is just that quick shift in perspective to get you out of this negative place where you can't into the positive, empowering place where you can, okay? So if that works for your daughter, a silly little affirmation that you can help her come up with, or just adding the word yet, she can start paying attention to her words, valuing her words, and then she's communicating in a more confident way, all right? Let's move on to the next one. Number 4, how to help her really value her role in the family. This one is huge in my household, okay? I suggest that you not be afraid to have high expectations, to have your girls do chores, and to implement consequences when you need to. And we touched on that yesterday, right? It's good for your daughter to feel like she has a role in the family. She needs to feel like she belongs, like she's making a contribution. And not only that she's making that contribution, but that you value that contribution. And so really what this means, what this looks like, is that you just tell her, right? I say to my oldest son a lot, I affirm this about him, you are my right hand. I count on you. I appreciate the way you help with your little brother. I love how caring you are with your little brother, right? Affirm those things when she's accepting responsibility for something, when you look at your family almost as a team, right? I tell them all the time, hey, we all have a part. It takes all of us doing our part to make this thing work. All right. So if you haven't tried that before, if you haven't, really given her that opportunity to have a role within the home, whether it's with chores or anything else, do that. Okay, that'll build her confidence. Hey, Stacy. Second one, expectations, okay? High expectations for behavior, whatever your family values are. I can't really tell you what they are, but you want to have high expectations. Don't settle for less, right? There's nothing wrong with pushing her to be the best at whatever it is that you have decided is important within your family, okay? So, for example, you know how when your kids were little, and you would go up to the school and you would see them and you're like, gosh, how is it that at school you put everything away, you behave, you do all these things that I can't seem to get you to do at home? Well, the teachers at the school have rules. The teachers at the school, hey, Katana, thank you so much for joining. The teachers at the school have a system in place where the children know, hey, if I don't do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to get a tally mark or a check, or my name goes on, the board, or we go from red to green to yellow, or red to yellow to green, whatever the case may be, right? There's a consequence. There's a consequence. It works for teenagers too. It gives them a sense of knowing what to expect. We all fear the unknown. When you can create that environment where they know the consequences for their poor decisions, it will help build their confidence. It gives them that safety, that security when they're out in the world having to make decisions. So you heard me say it. I've said it already. Don't be afraid to be the parent. That's what this looks like, okay? Enforce the consequences, have the high behavior expectations, and really give her the opportunity to contribute to the family in a meaningful way through some sort of responsibility, okay? I've got one more for you. The last one is, and I've got two more for you. Help show her that you value her opinion, that you value her ideas, okay? So let me tell you what this looks like. Maybe you're planning a family vacation. Ask her opinion. Hey, where do you think we should go? What would you like to do? What kinds of things would you like to do while we're on vacation? They want to be adults anyway. Give them opportunities to have the adult conversations, right? Politics. Did you know teens love talking about politics? They love it. They feel empowered. Give her that opportunity to explore her opinions, her thoughts, her passion. They're really passionate, especially now more than I've ever seen them before, right? With the political climate. Talk to them about this stuff. Help them process it, okay? You might learn something. They might impress you. They impress me all the time. TV. Do you watch TV with your daughter? I love the idea of sitting with them and watching the shows that they like. It might be torture, but guess what? You're seeing what they're seeing. And then you're able to be there to answer the questions. You're there to help her process the messages that she sees in the media. Wouldn't you rather her process them with you and not a friend at school or at the bus stop, right? So TV is a great way to do that. Music is a great way to do that. Listen to music with her and then talk to her about it. Ask her opinion and then really hear what she has to say. Remember, in this instance, when you're really trying to teach her how to value herself and you're trying to build her confidence, it's not so much about you, right? It's about hearing what she has to say and letting her know that her opinions matter, her viewpoints matter, and her ideas matter. And she will probably impress you. I bet she will if you start talking to her about these adult type things when you can. All right, here's the last one. Here's the sixth thing, and I could talk about this stuff all night. I had to just cap it at 6 so that I wasn't here all night long. But if you need more ideas, let me know. Help your daughter really value, and I kind of talked about this with hard work, value the effort, okay? And so I always say praise the effort more than the outcome, Let me explain why. This will look different with different girls, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple examples here. Say you have the high achiever, right? She makes all A's. She puts a lot of pressure on herself to be perfect. She's devastated if she gets a B. So for someone like that, if that's your daughter, you want to praise how hard she works. You want to praise the fact that she studied. You want to really acknowledge, you know what? I'm really impressed with how hard you worked. I'm really impressed with how you managed your time this week. You got an A. Well, no wonder. You really put studying first. You made it a priority, right? So compliment that piece to it, which is the effort, more than you're complimenting the A, okay? Especially with that type of a girl. Praise the effort. Yes, thank you, Stacy. It really works because these girls put so much pressure on themselves, okay? But then let me say this, because like I said, there's different scenarios here. So if you have a daughter who maybe is struggling to make the A, right? Maybe she's a BC student, or maybe she's a AB student, but more Bs, and she really wants to get an A, right? For her, I would really emphasize making the connection. So when she gets that A, because she will, right? Because you are not afraid to let her put that hard work in. She's going to put the work in, and it's inevitable. She'll get there. When she does, for that girl, you celebrate it. You celebrate it, but you make the connection to her effort, right? So it's something like, wow, you studied so hard. I am so proud that you got an A. We can celebrate this, because for her, she needs to celebrate it. Do you see the difference? Thank you, Katana. Do you see the difference? So I don't know what your girls are like, but I want to give you just different examples so that you can see what works for your daughter, okay? So here's one other example, another type of girl I work with a lot, and this is the athlete, okay? So for her, she's working hard. She's got, a lot of things she's juggling with her schedule. She's got practice. She's got all that stuff. And when you're in sports, the goal is to win, right? You play to win. So for that girl, praising the effort looks like, I see you getting up at 5 a.m. for those early morning runs. I'm proud of your dedication. I'm proud of how you handled yourself. And, one thing I love about sports is it shows you another side of your daughter, or, for me, the girls I work with, because if they're winning, everybody's a good sport. Everybody's happy. Everyone loves to win, right? But what do they do when they lose? You really see someone's character when they don't win. And so as a parent, what a great opportunity to uplift your daughter if she's got, a really good character, good sportsmanship, good attitude, even when they lose. Some teams win all the time, but it's inevitable you're going to lose eventually. So I like to see, just personally, well, what does she do when she loses? That could be a teachable moment right there, okay? So for that girl, I might be even more proud, like, dang it, you guys lost the championship. I am so sorry you didn't win. But I love the way you went to shake hands with the other team. I love the way you stood up and kept everybody, spirits uplifted. If she's, like a leader on the team, you can find something in there that shows her what her good character is in a not fun situation, right? So I'm going to do a quick recap. There's 6 ways that we just talked about for how you can really help your girls learn how to value themselves as a way to build their confidence and help them speak more confidently, and create an environment in your home where you're just continuously building her up. Okay, so real quick, the first one was complimenting her inner qualities, right? Getting her to value herself, from the inside. The second one is help her identify her strengths. And for this one, if you don't know what they are, if she doesn't know what they are, right, you may need to open the door for new experiences, new opportunities, so that she can discover things she's passionate about. And then a lot of times you'll discover what you're really good at. The third one, teach her how to value her words. Okay, and we talked about that a lot. The fourth one, teach her how to value her role in the family. Then teach her how to value her own original ideas, her own opinions. That is so empowering for her. And then finally, praise the effort more than the outcome. Okay? That's all I have for you tonight. I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to hang out with me. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. You can message me, and I will see you tomorrow for day 7. Have a good night.